powers combined.
There you go. All right.
We should do like a dead wrath. Like I could do a D and Sarah could be a W. You could be a B.
I am not getting any kind of gang affiliation going on.
That's not gang. Wrath side.
Dead wrath.
We're
Anthony's got
recording,
it.
by the way.
No, we're
Are
not.
we?
I mean, we didn't do anything bad.
We're just touching fingers.
Are we rolling for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi guys, this week we watched on Netflix, there's a mini docu-series called American Nightmare. If you haven't seen it, I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. So we're taking back 2015, Valero, California, 3 a.m. There's this man named Aaron Quinn. He calls the police. He reports that his girlfriend is kidnapped. He said, they put these goggles on me and they gave me some sleepy night-night stuff and I fell asleep. And then he said, but during the midst of it, they said that they got the wrong girl, that they were looking for my ex-girlfriend, Andrea. And you thought, what the fuck is going on right now? Okay, pause real fast. I'm a hater in the beginning, dude. I'm already like, you killed your fucking girlfriend.
We can't tell.
You killed your girlfriend, you piece of shit. We know what you did, right? No. So he like goes over, the police question him. Well, now the police are like, that's real suspicious that your girlfriend left and it had to deal with your ex-girlfriend. So now they think it's his fault, right? No, it's not his fault. And then 48 hours later, this girl shows up. She gets dropped off at her dad's house, 400 miles away from where they live. She has a motherfucking packed bag and sunglasses on, right? If you're getting kidnapped, why the fuck would you have an overnight bag and sunglasses? That's so weird to me. They blame it on him. They're trying to pin it on him. 48 hours later, Denise shows up, and then they interview Denise. And then Denise says the same story, but then it gets even more intense because she's like, I was locked in a room. This man me, this and that. It's almost like, this is crazy. But listen, she gets put in a trunk of a car and she tells the police, she's like, yeah.
It was a Mustang.
Yeah, I knew it was a Mustang. How would you know that? And if you did know that, why wouldn't you conclude that in your statement? Like, I know this because so-and-so, I'm into cars. My family's into cars. I grew up around Mustangs. I know what that sounds like. You did not know it was a Mustang, dog. Because it ended up being a Mustang at the end, so.
She could just be a really good guesser.
No, that's not it, dude.
She could be.
It could have been a Charger. It could have been a Challenger.
Could have been a Hellcat.
Exactly.
Nah, you know.
Yeah, you would know it was a Hellcat, to be honest.
It could have been something else. Or she said, no, it's a Mustang. I fucking know it.
Well, I will say, so I'm also skeptical, but I will say, to be a contrarian right now, Mustangs are one of the more popular sports cars. So could be just.
It could be, dude. But then they blame it on her, right? They're like, oh, this is some Gone Girl shit, dude. And then I thought the same thing. I said, oh shit, this bitch really did disappear and be like, I'm gonna make my boyfriend mad because he's talking to his ex-girlfriend still because they want to get back together.
Rip off Gone Girl.
Yeah.
And they were calling it the Gone Girl case.
The Gone Girl case.
Well, there was that other girl that right before that had done the same thing. I can't remember her name, but she had done the same thing and had hit up her ex-boyfriend and he picked her up thinking that.
Hers kidnapped?
Yeah. No, he helped her out thinking that she needed help, telling the police that she was kidnapped by him and tied up. And he's like, no, she told me that she needed to get away for a few days and was just hanging out in my apartment. And you didn't hear about that?
No, that's very suspicious.
Keep talking. I'm going to look up this case.
I'm going to look it up. So they question Denise. She gets in there. She explains the whole story. And they treat her like shit too. They're making it sound like she's unbelievable. This girl bounces to a lawyer, flies to him in San Francisco because she was like, something's not right and I don't want to answer any more questions until I get legal advice. So she goes and gets help. They blame, and now they're trying to prosecute both of this couple, right? They're like, this is a hoax. This is conspiracy. We're fucking
waste of our resources.
Yeah, we're taking you down. Come to find out, he breaks into this couple's house as a 22-year-old daughter. He tries to kidnap the 22-year-old daughter, drops his phone, right? So when the cops come, they're like, oh, whose phone is this? This is very strange. They trace it back.
To his parents, I think, or something like that.
To his parents' place in Tahoe, in his name. This is in his name. So they're like, oh, Matthew Muller, fucking weird. Let's look this motherfucker up. This is a different police department. This is a fucking there. she's like, let me look into this. She does all this research. She said, oh man, this man has been like in trouble for this, and there's suspicion here, and he's been doing this. This is really weird. So she goes, figures it all out. She calls the other police department and was like, hey, I have this man in question. Do you guys want to question him? And they're like,
Sure.
I don't know. Sure. Let me like
send it on over.
Yeah, let me call someone.
It sounds like a guy that's been creeping around here taking pictures.
Yeah. And she's like, no, this is important. Like, you guys should want to question him. And so they do. Right. Then they find out it is a Matthew Muller situation. Right. It is him. It goes back to his name. They find his house. They find the fucking goggles. They find Aaron's laptop in his car.
Bum, bum, bum.
They find it all. They find the tape. They find the zip ties. Everything that ties into these crimes, this man has. So you're like, oh, no shit. This whole time I'm thinking, this is some fake shit, dude.
Sherry Papini was the case. In 2016, she had her ex-boyfriend pick her up. She convinced him to hit her. Oh, no, sorry. She asked him to hit her. But he refused, and instead, he agreed to hold a hockey stick while she ran into it. He, per her request, branded her, and she came out with this whole story that she got picked up by 2 Hispanic sex trafficking working women. Who
I feel like this sounds familiar.
Yeah,
now.
it was 2016. So a good while ago, but it was a big deal because she was missing for 3 weeks. And then finally she asked him to drop her off on the freeway because she wanted to go home. So he just let her go. And I don't think he ever got charged with anything. And I don't remember entirely, but I feel like he probably knew more than he said he did. Because who agrees to just start hitting people and branding somebody? You know?
That's weird.
But he was like, I didn't know any of this. I just thought maybe she was a little unhinged, But yeah, she ended up. They figured everything out, and that was obviously before this case, and that was because I think a lot of why they didn't believe Denise was because of that.
That does make sense, but also when I was watching the game, I said, I don't believe these people, dude. This is so weird.
Never mind, that happened in 2015. Sherry Papini's thing was in 2016. Oh, okay. So anyway, I'm wrong. I take that back completely. But
it was the other way around.
Yeah.
But then you feel bad for him at the end because you're like,
oh, they got
I was telling the truth, and that police department wasn't doing their job. It's you were so focused on pinning that crime on them that you did not do your job on what you were supposed to be doing. And I have a problem with that.
And they did get a defamation of character settlement out of it.
Yes, they did. $2.6 million.
Hell yeah.
So 2 things. One thing, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I thought it was kind of crazy that Matthew Muller guy got 40 years in prison for that shit. I was like, God damn, that's like a murder sentence.
Well, he was obviously a repeat offender.
I don't think, obviously, I mean, it's not necessarily Netflix's fault, but I think the director of the show intentionally created the shock value of there's so many unanswered questions. How much was actually left out?
Netflix does really push their narratives, Making a Murderer. That. Actually, I've been watching Candace Owens. What was that? I can't remember what it's called. Candace Owens has this documentary, and it's playing the opposite role of he actually did do it and committed the murders. It's really fascinating, but her stance is basically Netflix wanted to push a narration that would sell, and if they make this guy look innocent, but all these pieces of evidence are being pinned on him, then obviously people are gonna be in favor and want to watch the next episode. Whereas her stance is no, there's a lot of stuff they left out that actually points him as the murderer, and you guys are just you think this is gonna sell. So yeah. With you guys saying, why are they not investigating what's the detective's name? Sesma. David. Yes.
David.
Specifically.
So, yeah, David, we're talking to you.
I could be wrong because I don't know the facts of that. If they have investigated him, if they haven't investigated him. I know a lot of times investigations happen without the public knowing about it. The Brian Koberger case, the guy that killed the 4 college students 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, I believe. So no one knew that the detectives were on the case as well as they were, and they were complaining the whole time, why aren't you guys looking into this? Why aren't you guys taking care of this better? Well, the whole time they were, and they were tracking him and making sure they had all their ducks in a row before they actually caught him, because they knew he was so calculated with this. So I'm not saying that they aren't investigating, or they are investigating.
Well, they did interview him. They just refused to release it.
That's what I'm saying, is they probably have more than what we know about. So my biggest question with the documentary was, why did Mueller was his name, right?
Muller.
Why did Mueller email the police department saying she is telling the truth? You need to look into this. This is the pictures of everything.
I know, that's weird, right?
It was very odd.
They always say like serial killers, and essentially he's a serial I want to assume, is like they always want to cycle back and they gain and this actually kind of comes back into like the psychology part of like they always want to circle back, and they want to circle back, and they want to be
like he wanted the fame of it.
They want the fame, they want the recognition, they want to make sure that they're clear. Like,
but he was so careless with how he went about it.
Well, he's a stupid idiot. First of all,
it seemed like he kind of had liked her too, so maybe he just kind of felt
bad. Oh, possibly.
I'm sorry. He's like, you believe her.
There was that one girl he sat with where he said he couldn't do this. Like she was crying and he felt really bad about it. So, I didn't think about it from that stance. I just thought it was a really reckless thing for someone who does this frequently enough to do. But you guys think that he said this was for the ex-girlfriend, this was meant for the ex-girlfriend?
Dude, I don't know.
See, and that's something I don't know. Like, they didn't talk to Andrea. Like, Andrea was like, oh, yeah, I am.
I read one theory that said that he knew that her family had money, so he knew that they would be willing to pay the ransom. That was the only thing that made it, like, plausible. But I didn't understand the rest of it. But I did, when I was reading this case back, he was very calculated in how he approached it, like with the entering the house, drugging them, like what he said, his whole plan to take her back, like all of it was very calculated. So you knew he actually put a lot of thought into this, but that's where it's kind of confusing. Like you put this much thought into it, but you didn't get the right girl.
No, also the webcam. What about the fucking webcam?
Yeah. I don't remember what happened with the webcam.
He had a webcam on him. Dude had a webcam on him so you could know like he's being watched and stuff like that. Why didn't they chase the webcam? Why?
And they even tell Aaron even tells the police like, hey, this man is supposed to contact me. Like, so like he's going to call me. The police department turns off his phone, right? Puts it in airplane mode, then turns it off. When they turn it back on, they do get a call from him.
Right.
And it does trace it back. So I was like, what the fuck is actually going on? You guys really don't give a fuck.
Very reckless.
I almost want to say like, do they wear their pants on their head in Vallejo or what? Like,
I will say this documentary, like the investigation aside, the actual documentary itself felt very rushed and like thrown together. And I didn't like that part of it. I felt unsatisfied at the end of it. And when it said it was all over and there was like the conclusions, like they got this amount of money, they're married now, blah, blah, blah. It was like, that's it. I thought there was going to be at least 2 more episodes.
I thought it needed to have 2 more episodes. So it at least needed to have 2 more.
I would have loved to see a prison interview with Muller just to see what his side.
You can watch it because in 2018 he was interviewed and he said that he was innocent. And you know what his excuse was? I just felt bad for the couple. No, you fucking didn't.
Wait, what? I don't understand.
He said that he didn't actually do those crimes. He didn't actually kidnap her. He just admitted to it because he felt bad for her.
Oh.
So he was like, so I just said that I did it.
Bullshit.
Okay, Muller. Yeah, right. And then they
must be his defense attorneys.
They wrote like a book called Victim F, and Denise is a co-writer on that book. And she puts in there, because I had questions about the bag too. I was like, what is this bag? Like, how do you get dropped off and have this bag? In the book, she said that he did ask her to like pack a bag before they left. But in my head, I was like, when you talk to the police, you didn't think that was like important information or anything? Like, also, he asked me to pack a bag, so.
Did she not tell them that at all?
No.
Wasn't she drugged?
You don't even, and that's what I'm saying. It's like you're drugged, but then he asked you to pack a bag. Like, what is happening here? I said, that is very strange. And then I can also link the podcast, 48 Hours, 2-part. They are both on and they interview him. And Aaron doesn't even actually call the police at first. He calls his brother, who also works for the FBI. And he told him to call the local police. He didn't call the police first. He said, I gotta call my brother.
I have a hard time with this. Like, my brain goes in 2 directions where it's like, I believe everything they said. And honestly, it comes down to when she's talking about the situation and she starts crying. To me, that was when I was like, I actually do believe her.
I don't think she's lying. I just think there's details. I don't think everybody's being truthful.
That's the other part of it. The other part of my brain thinks that they were all conspiring and in on it.
Yes.
Like they all kind of worked together and there was some kind of like payout or something. They were going to benefit from this somehow.
There's something weird.
Yeah. And maybe he was the fall guy at the end of it.
At first, dude, I was like, ooh, dude, it's got to be Sesma. And he's like, listen here, Muller. I'm going to freaking get rid of all these charges for you if you can fucking kidnap my fucking ex-girlfriend 'cause she's pissing me off. That's what I thought at first. I was like, oh, they working together. Muller's like, oh, hell yeah, I will do that.
Or
he doesn't
if-
talk to the police because he's fucking scared.
He kidnaps her, and then the FBI agent like saves her, and like he becomes a hero and saves his ex-girlfriend.
Yes,
you
dude.
know,
Medal of Honor.
That's what I'm like,
it's a dramatic story. You guarantee
really
you get picked up by
is.
somebody.
it really is.
Something I wanted to touch on real quick. So I was thinking about the whole Mustang thing, and I was talking about it, and how when she was riding in the Mustang. Oh yeah, two things about the Mustang. First of all, they never say that she was in a car for 8.5 hours to drive to the beach.
That's what I'm saying. They
Because
did not
She was
say.
in the
Tahoe-
trunk for 8.5 hours.
Yes.
They never said that. They made it sound like it was just like a 2-hour
Yeah.
ride.
No, she got dropped off in Huntington.
Yeah.
She
Which
was
is an-
she was paying attention every turn too.
She did. She said, I made attention. I turn here, turn there.
Yeah, and that's even a long
She
drive
said, then
too
I
from
passed
Tahoe
out
to
from the
there.
drugs.
Don't you die if you're in a trunk for a certain amount of time?
No, they're not air sealed.
Oh, I thought they were for some reason.
No, they're
okay.
airflows in those things now. No, but also the when she said she could barely see out of there, that's the only time I could think that it would alter her perception of what kind of vehicle she's in, because Mustangs, that horse emblem is everywhere. It's on the dashboard, it's on the steering wheel. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere on the side console.
It's true, but she did say the noise.
Yeah.
She said the noise, and maybe she just clicks that with association. I'm not defending her, but just as in a thought process thing, that's the only thing I can think of is that like when she was giving her story, she probably instantly clicked it as she saw the horse emblem and knew it was a Mustang.
I'm going to defend
she's
her. I'm
in
going to
on
say I feel like because Mustangs are so common, like honestly, if I were to hear an engine rev up really quick, I'd probably say it was like a Mustang or something.
I'd probably think a Charger because cart Chargers are more common.
I'm just going to be honest. I think they're all involved.
Yeah, I'm on both sides
I'm
of it.
sorry, but
I can
that's
believe
what I
either way.
think.
If
I
you were to
think the
tell me
police
one way or
department-
the other way, I believe both.
I think the police department fucked up, and obviously they mishandled the case. But I also think there's unknown unknowns that we don't know.
It wasn't so much that this is all sketchy. I just feel like the documentary was poorly put together.
It was.
I thought it was pretty good.
Well, you know what, Anthony?
It pissed me the fuck off. I'm not gonna lie. It pissed me off.
Yeah, they leave stuff out, but I don't think they could drag it out.
What did you feel about it, though? You have any questions, any concerns, any confusion?
What is your thought on the whole
Yeah, what is your
thing?
thought on the whole thing?
I was just watching. I wasn't like overanalyzing it too much, and at first it kind of seemed like bullshit.
Right at
With-
first it did.
with the stuff, it wasn't enough for me to like look it up right away.
Sorry, I'm just like that.
But then
We're obviously way more invested.
yeah.
I also felt like when they were interviewing him and stuff at first, like I felt like they didn't give him like an honest like chance when they're and he seemed pretty like honest when he was talking about everything. Like I didn't think he was like faking it.
All right.
Who, the boyfriend?
Like, yeah, like his emotions and stuff.
I just felt like weird.
He was
vibes
kind of
from
too
him.
stoic for me. The way he
I
was
don't know. I
doing
just
it.
felt like the dudes interviewing him were just straight to like, this guy's fucking guilty. Like, there's
Oh
no
yeah,
shot.
they didn't give him a day's
So, like,
chance.
even though if
like-
they felt that way, I felt like they should have still approached it a little bit more.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no. So, how do you guys feel about the show? How do you want to rate it?
Like Bones?
Yeah,
We're gonna bone it.
we're boning this.
I don't.
Not D-Nice though.
I wouldn't bone this. I didn't like it.
What are you gonna give it?
Give it a 4.
4,
I'm gonna give it a 5.
5?
It was entertaining enough, but
You
very
get an
frustrating.
opinion in this. What are you giving it?
It's out of 10, right?
Yeah.
I give it a 7.
You want to give it a 7?
Paul Abdul over here.
Like, it's like a 70%, bro. It's like it's not like it's great.
It's
It's
a
not
C.
great, but he's like, it's alright. I liked it.
I just didn't like the way it was thrown together, and honestly, I could have stopped at episode 1.5 and been, or the second part of.
It had me hooked. I
Really?
stayed up late
I was.
to watch.
Listen,
all
I watched
three.
all 3 in one sitting. It's
We did too.
Yeah, it was
Boom.
easy to get it done in one day. That's for sure.
Oh,
I just,
yeah.
I didn't grab my attention like a lot of them do. Like, you know, it wasn't a Tiger King or anything.
I was just like so invested. I was like, I need more information. So
Yeah.
I need to listen. I was like, is there going to be more? Like,
All I'm gonna say is I went to bed pissed off.
You don't like the ending?
I hated every bit of it. Like I said,
I didn't like the ending either.
I didn't like D-Nice's veneers. I didn't like.
that's D nice, man.
be nice.
I don't care.
Aaron.
And A.
Aaron. Tiger
fine.
King, though, when it came out,
Yeah.
that shit was a banger.
Tiger King was dope. And
Not the hero we wanted, but the hero we deserved.
that
also
bitch,
it's like-
Carol Baskins.
Everyone's during COVID, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Tiger King.
That gives us the rating of a 4.5.
Oh, dang. You didn't
You
do
should
so
watch
good
it
now,
and
did
judge
you?
it for yourself, though.
Yeah, please do. And if you have any like comments or like concerns or questions, or you can answer some
What
questions
pissed
for
you
us,
guys out about this?
let us know.